Before we continue this video, I would like you to do one thing. Just sit well and have a breath. You can breathe out and relax yourself. By the end of this video, you will see the reason why this video still remains the #1 notch. A lot of people are reacting aggressively concerning this particular video that we are about to watch. Did you know why? The reason being that this video is the most video that you come across this very week, being Monday. So just comport yourself and see what this video have for us. Don't go anywhere. Let's watch the video.
Please bless his precious wife, children, grandchildren. Give him strength, give him sharpness tonight. I know he's probably a little tired.
Cannot ignore the fact that there is Nigerian government complicity with these attacks. You saw some of our journalists in the documentary. We wanted to be an organization that tells the truth about what's happening in Nigeria, hence truthnigeria.com. I want to just kind of let everybody know and help you understand how Nigerian news works.
We compiled data from within Truth Nigeria. We compiled data from several sources, and we have launched what we call the Nigeria Terror Tracker. And this is an interactive map that shows you who did the killing, where the killing happened, geolocated, and information about each and every attack.
I'd like to talk about Taiwo Oyedele this morning, and I was very shocked when I saw his intervention on television. Equally, Taiwo Oyedele came out to say that, I don't have information too, as regards what the National Assembly is saying.
So he doesn't have the harmonized
so he doesn't have the harmonized copy. So
before we continue further, I would like you to do one thing. Let's pray for Donald Trump, because this man is doing a great job. The world have gathered to pray for him once again because the load is too much. Let's ask God intervention to strengthen him to overcome the temptation and the trials. The load is too heavy. You're welcome. We have prayed for him. So please, this next part of this video is where the whole thing is more interesting. There is this one organization called Truth Foundation. This Truth Foundation was established by Americans by themselves. Just because of what? To find the real truth about what is going on in Nigeria. Because the Nigerian journalists have compromised their lies too much. That is why this foundation was established, to really find out what is happening in Nigeria. So please, I wouldn't want you to miss this video for anything, because this is where the whole thing becomes more interesting. And this is where the whole details about what that have been going on in Nigeria is being listed out. So do well and comport yourself while we watch it together. Don't go anywhere. Let's continue.
If a Nigerian government official does not call for a news conference, the event did not exist. So in order for the narrative to get to the mainstream media, get picked up by Al Jazeera, get picked up by CNN, everything else, it comes from a Nigerian government source. From the very beginning, they determine the narrative. The reporters regurgitate the government narrative. We decided to be a voice and try to help change that paradigm, and created Truth Nigeria to document what is actually happening. How many of you guys know that there were 10 Christians killed in Kaduna just the other day? How many of you know that there were 30 Christians killed in Plateau just a week ago? How many of you know that besides the 280 Christians that were killed in Yellowwater on June 13th, we are now about over 500 Christians that have been killed total since Yellowwater? No one knows. The media is not reporting it. Well, that's why we formed Truth Nigeria, to talk about what is going on. But also, what we pointed out in the documentary that I'd like everybody to realize is that Truth Nigeria had information that the attack on Yellowwater was going to occur 3 weeks before the attack happened. Now, when we get a terror alert and we find information, we know attacks are going to occur, our method is we issue a terror alert on our website, truthnigeria.com, but we also immediately call the local authorities. We notify the Nigerian military, the DSS, the Nigerian government, to let them know this is what we found out, this is our intelligence. Now, A day before the attack, we got word that there's movement happening. They are mobilizing, and they are coming for Yelawada. So the day before, our team notified the government, the local authorities, the army, the police, and said, hey, there's movement, they're coming, watch out. What happened? Absolutely nothing. The government stood by and did nothing. With advance warning, multiple times. In fact, there's a military fob with soldiers that was less than a kilometer away while the attacks were going on, shooting warning shots in the air, but did not engage the terrorists as people were being burned to death, hacked to death with machetes, and being slaughtered.
So I'm just going to pop it up on the screen here, and we call it nttmap.org. Very original name, NigeriaTerrorTrackerMap.org, nttmap.org. And this is a work in progress, but right now what we have in the system is every attack that has occurred in Nigeria for the last 5 years. And who did it, documenting over 50,000 casualties. We'll go to the map. So you can sort out the map here. You can go by local government area, you can go by the state, you can go by the date. Every one of these attacks is geolocated. Now if I go click on a dot, it'll give you information about every attack. But here's the thing, I can go over here, I'll take out the red. The red right now is combined of Boko Haram and ISWAP. We are going to be separating that and doing Boko Haram only and ISIS of West Africa only. That's going to be separated here within the next month, and that'll be documented. But Trump went after, I'd say, a small portion of the red, which was the ISIS. Let's take them out for a second. Okay? Let's take out other non-actors. All right, we'll take out state actors, security forces. Look at the green, guys. The green are the Fulani attacks. And everywhere they've attacked in the last 5 years, which accounts for the vast majority of all the killings in the last 5 years. The data doesn't lie. And this is a clear picture of what needs to be dealt with. So the U.S. government, if we're going to take this seriously, if we really care about persecuted Christians, the Fulani need to be dealt with. The Fulani ethnic militia. Boko Haram still needs to be dealt with. ISIS needs to be dealt with. But if we're ignoring the Fulani, we are doing a disservice to the Nigerian people, and there will be more slaughter. So the American media thought, guess what? Trump bombed Nigeria. Problem solved. Persecution ended. How many of you here know how many Christians have died since Christmas? I know you guys are smart. And Doug, you know, 130 Christians have died since Christmas. The killing hasn't stopped. The Fulani are doing business as usual. So right now, the Nigerian government, $9 million to an American Republican firm that people kind of associate them with called DCI. Roger Stone, known association of President Trump, I guess helped put together the deal. Folks, when I first started this project, and I started working in Nigeria, I thought once the world knew that all these innocent Christians and people were being massacred and killed, that people would just naturally do the right thing and want to come to their rescue. Right? Especially people on what I consider on the conservative and the Republican side of the fence. It's a no-brainer. No, what are we dealing with? We're dealing with people that are in complete denial, that are getting paid to deny the genocide. And now there's $9 million being shoved into the Republican conservative organizations in front by this lobbying firm that are going to pay people to change the narrative. So what I'm asking all of you here is, if you know people in the media, you have friends in the media, you have former congressmen or senator friends of yours that are lobbyists, you need to go to them and say, if you take the Judas money and you start trying to change this narrative, we're going to hold you accountable. We are not going to let you get away with this. We're not going to let paid, pay-for-play conservative commentators take the Judas money and the blood money and lay cover for the killing of Christians. It's not going to happen on my watch. And I'm going to go to war with DCI, with what very little I have and what connections I have, we're not going to let this happen. The fraud is going to get exposed. I'm tired of this, guys. We should all be doing the right thing together and coming to the aid of the innocent, of the defenseless, and saving lives instead of playing these stupid political games. For the love of God, we can do better than this, folks.
I'd like to talk about Taiwo Oyedele this morning, and I was very shocked when I saw his intervention on television. Equally, Taiwo Oyedele came out to say that, I don't have information too, as regards what the National Assembly is saying.
So he doesn't have the harmonized.
So he doesn't have the harmonized copy. So somebody will have thought that you were part of the process. Even if it's for your own personal safekeeping, once the harmonized copy came out, you couldn't get a copy? And then you are now saying, what they're probably circulating is fake. How is it fake? You don't have the harmonized copy. And then you went further to say on national television that you even called somebody on the committee that what they're circulating is fake. Were you supposed to call somebody and talk to the person on the committee investigating the shenanigan as regards to fraud? They were talking all the, let me use the word, alleged fraud or alleged forgery. Then the next thing, the way Taiwo Oyedele tries to limit it to a procedural matter, I mean, that even indicts the government even more. So we can't get a gazetted copy to align with an harmonized copy in this country. And you're saying it's maybe procedural issue because we have to enter it manually, and you're trying to excuse the ineptitude, trying to call us stupid to our face. I mean, harmonized copy moves to the president. He signs it. National Assembly clerk gets harmonized copy, moves to the president. He signs it. When he signs it into law, we gazette it. It should be one long paper trail. National Assembly, presidency signs, gazette comes out. So if you are not telling us procedural issue based on that, and you're trying to say it's an age-long Nigerian problem, in fact, I think he stopped short of saying it's a good crisis at some point. Maybe we can learn from it. We can learn from this ineptitude.
It was putting a spin on it.
It was putting a spin on it. Should it have even happened in the first place? Do you know what that does to your integrity? You're in the center of all of this. You help crafting with all of this. Then the last phase of the gaslighting I heard from Taiwo Oyedele was the fact that, then he starts to sell what will be the benefit if we don't pass the law in January and we don't start the law, that the tax cuts for workers and reduction in taxation and everything. I mean, so you didn't know that before? You didn't know that was going to happen before you cleaned it? Then you now gave the advice in the end and said, okay, yes, we can just deal with those areas, expunge them from the laws while we settle the matter out. Yeah, I mean, that's a decent advice in the end. But you're now trying to sell what will become. I mean, you took a year to work on this. Was there this? We're saying do things properly. This might be true, this might not be true. We don't know.
Yeah.
But the committee has to see to be able to tell us. But once somebody points out something that's an indictment on you, you've done a lot of things wrong in the first place. Number one, you've called somebody that's on the committee and you're pointing out something that is fake to him. I mean, so in the bid of trying to limit it and say there's fake news, misinformation, blame the media, gaslight people, punch them in the face and tell them you don't know what you're thinking about. And while all of this goes on, you now try to mitigate it. I say it's a procedural problem. That's the problem I have. Because when you call it procedural, it shows that people and the processes in government are not being done properly. Dear Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, I mean, you are a top shot in a consulting firm. You were brought in to be able to mitigate those procedural flaws. We just won the investigation. By the way, I hear the House of Reps will be going on recess soon. So probably even if we go on recess, we'll not be able to get a report of what has transpired probably to next year, and the law will already be in effect or might not be in effect. I mean, the confusion, like Fela says, just breaks everybody.
Yeah, if the law is in effect, which of the laws will be in effect?
I mean, I don't even know.
So I think
because the National Assembly guys are definitely going to go for Christmas break at some point. And I'm not sure they're going to finish the investigation, or maybe they're going to finish it expressly.
The natural conclusion would be to put this on hold.
No, but Taiwo was telling you that if you put it on hold, that all the workers that have been, being hurt with the former tax regime will cry blood.
In the interest of due process and for integrity's sake, and because this is not a matter to be taken lightly, if indeed what is being alleged by Honorable Dasuki from the House of Reps Sokoto PDP, that what the harmonized copy, what they passed as from the National Assembly is different from the gazetted copy, then we cannot go on to implement a law that is under scrutiny. I think that's just basic. Whether or not it's in the interest of Nigerians, which it is. I mean, we've debated and talked about the merits and demerits of the joint tax law, joint tax reform. However, if there is a tampering with the outcome of what the House National Assembly passed, then it shouldn't happen. If the National Assembly is unwilling to make the sacrifice to not go on recess until this investigation is concluded, then we ought to wait to see the conclusion, because we cannot be implementing a law that's under scrutiny or is said to possibly even be fake or possibly has been tampered with. I think that's very important. What happened with Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, and I give kudos to him, because I have said again and again that he did a fine job with this joint tax law. Very controversial. A number of people had things to say about different aspects. Some people agree or not agree with some of the areas like the capital gains tax and other things, other areas. But in terms of the formula sharing, the benefit to especially low-income earners, that has been highlighted. However, due process must be followed, and I believe that Nigerians deserve to get to the bottom of this, as it is criminal in nature if that law was tampered with.
I'd like to talk about
Now that you have watched the full clip of this video, I believe you do get value of what you just watched. Yes, I keep saying it. One thing is to watch video, and another thing is to understand what the video is saying. And now that you have watched the full video, and I believe you get what you wanted. Now the truth remains. When we keep telling you that the Nigerian medias are helping Nigeria to perfect their evil atrocities against the Nigerians, you thought we are just demarcating them. No, the truth remains. If not for the sake of this organization, Truth Nigeria Foundation, imagine if not for them, all this truth that we just watch would have been dead and buried. And whatever the Nigeria is twisting about the genocide, the world could have believed that Nigeria is saying the truth. But yet everything, the truth is so naked and raw that the Nigeria can never deny the fact that everything has been open. And that is what the America is standing upon, because the journalists in Nigeria are complicit. What they do is they report the news that the government choose for them, not to tell the truth, not even to cover it, not talk less of telling the truth. They only dare talking about election, politician, because that is the area they specialize on, in catching out in their art in YouTube. And that is why we have taken it upon ourselves to bring the truth before the world for the sake of humanity. We will keep preaching this truth until Nigeria no peace. What is that peace? The peace is that is always my slogan, that the Americans should just disintegrate this country and let the Biafrans go, because it's only the disintegration of this country will bring the lasting solution to the Nigeria crisis. Allow the Muslim to go on her separate way, while the Christians and some other religions go on her separate way and practice their faith in peace. Because Nigeria was built in the life foundation. That is why somebody that committed no crime was sentenced for life imprisonment, while the people that parading themselves with AK-47, making life miserable for a common man, was freely and enjoying senior citizenship in this country. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was suffering what he's suffering today for the sake of truth, while the Gumi, the terrorist, was freely walking, roaming, eating and dining with the government because he's a terror. You see, but all thanks to America for their good work. Nigeria can never get away with these evil atrocities that they have placed on the Nigerians. What we are doing today is what we're supposed to be doing. And you that is watching, your own responsibility is to spread the message so that the world will know the truth.
to mitigate it. I say it's a procedural.
Because this media, the Nigerian media,
When you call it
their propaganda is,
it shows that
in fact, is uncomparable.
government are not being done properly.
Because they have chosen to go after words, social media words, rather than telling the world the truth.
Mitigate those procedures.
And that is why Nigeria will keep on collapsing
By the way, I hear the
beyond repair.
House of Reps
And we are bringing the truth before the world,
they even go on recess. Will not be able to get
because we have chosen the path.
probably to next year. And the law
So
will not be in
please,
effect.
who am
Will not
I?
be in effect. And
I'm only a messenger.
confusion.
If you found this video very helpful, please don't hesitate to touch a hand for subscribe button, like and turn on the notification bell, so that whenever we upload a new video like this, you'll be the first person to be notified. And in doing that, you're encouraging us to do more. And togetherness, we shall save life together. Africa life matters. Don't allow anybody to intimidate you in terms of truth,
Being hurt
because an injustice for one always remain an injustice for all.
For integrity's sake.
Till next time,
Because
see you
this is not
in my next
a
video.
matter to be taken lightly
Bye for now.
if indeed
Thank you.